I am loving this weapon, guys. There's some things to learn about it. It's a very good one, a great one. Even with all the weapons in the game, they're still coming out with ones that offer new things. Today's review is on the Dungeon Arc Auto Rifle, the 600 RPM Pyroelectric Propellant. It's another top weapon from the dungeon. I put over 1,000 kills on mine already, and I don't see that stopping. It has the Braid Legacy Origin trait. Dealing damage generates a small amount of ability energy to the one closest to a full charge. Out of the rip, let's look at the stats. It's a monster. Most call Summoner the overall stat king of the 600 RPMs. It hangs. Best in class stability with high range that can be added to. Great stats overall. And the main points are its stability and also the magazine size. More on that later. Unfortunately, there's a couple perk combos that I can't show. I tried grinding this dungeon to get it to show in the video, but we can just talk about them. We know how good they are. But I've used it enough to have a full review on it. And the third, these can be enhanced. Attrition orbs, to the pain, fragile focus, killing wind, eddy current, strategist. In the final column, jolting feedback, closing time, target lock, kill clip, swashbuckler, onslaught. Where I want to start is jolting feedback. In a lot of ways, I think it's better than Volt Shot. My opinion, of course. And once you see how the perk works, what it does, you can decide. And no question, Volt Shot is S tier. It has its applications, but this perk I do like a little bit overall better. Dealing repeated damage with this weapon inflicts jolt at an increased rate. While amplified, jolt is applied faster. My role that I'm loving is strategist jolting feedback. I have 60 rounds in this thing. Coming back to that magazine, it has the highest base mag of the 600s. 48 base is strong. Most hover around 40, so this has about 0 to 8 more than the other ones. I have a pitted mag and backup mag to equal 60 rounds, which is great. At base, for an auto rifle, it's taking 16 hits to proc a jolt. Note that there is a window to deal damage. I got 3 seconds, so it has to be under 3. Could be 2.5 though. Kind of hard to test, but just know that there's a little window, and that's perfect because with the large base magazine and then getting up to like I have 60, you can just lay into targets. And it doesn't matter what those targets are. You can go target to target. Say it's just on the yellow bar, you can apply jolt to them, then it'll start clearing all the ads around. Or if there's just a whole bunch of ads, the 16th hit will just apply jolt within the group. It's really, and I mean really good. Don't have to be on the same target, just red bar to red bar mowing. The 16th bullet will apply jolt, no reload needed, and it's kind of working like incandescent now. There is no kill trigger anymore. It just happens. In this perk, it's making it a legendary weapon with built-in overload. Built-in overload just by shooting a champion. You apply jolt to them, you stun them, you take them out. So that's a huge plus to me. I play solo a lot. It's really, really good. Not tied down to artifact mods. You can run this AR if there's overload. Also, it's worth noting, opposed to a Volt Shot weapon, I think it's a lot better and a little bit harder activities because some of these beefier red bars could be at a distance, could be up close. Sometimes it's taking 16 shots to down them. So you'll apply jolt pretty frequently in higher end content. I did enhance it. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's first talk about how many shots it takes when you're amplified. While amplified, jolt's going to apply on the 12th bullet. It's like it says, jolt is applied faster. And what's interesting here is it does what the perk states literally. When the perk is enhanced, the first part of the text is changed. Dealing repeated damage with this weapon inflicts jolt at an increased rate. The second part, while amplified, jolt is applied faster, stays the same. So while enhanced at base, you get jolt on the target 1 bullet faster on the 15th bullet. And the second part of the perk, while amplified, wait for it, it's on the 12th, just like the base perk. What it means, well, first, take a listen. Here's what 60 rounds, non-amplified, this is the enhanced one. You can hear when jolt is applied, and just listen for those ticks. You heard it twice. On the 15th bullet originally, and then a lot of ammo goes in at the very end of the mag before I reload, you hear it again. So when it says, while amplified, jolt is applied faster, this is what that means. So this time, hear how many times jolt is applied. You heard it 5 times. So when it says jolt is applied faster, that's exactly what it means. It's continuous every 12th bullet. And also, we have a threshold met here. You heard it 5 times, 12 bullets, that's 60 rounds. Perfect. If you didn't have appended or extended with backup mag, you'd hear it 4 times. But this 60, every 12. So what's nice when you're in heavy populated areas, you can just go target to target, not have to worry about a delay, every 12th sending out a jolt. So jolt's going to be everywhere. And you can't do that non-amplified because there's a cooldown, and actually, like, you have to go to different targets. If you apply jolt on one, it feels like you can't gain hits off of them anymore until that jolt goes away. But you can do it in one group, go to another, and it'll work every 15th. But amplified, whole different deal. Now, when we talk about necessity enhanced perks, like ones that you need to enhance, Rhyme Stealer comes to mind. Yes. Enhanced Incandescent. Yes. I don't believe that this one falls in that category. At base, you're getting Jolt on a target 1 bullet faster, 16 to 15, and enhanced, they both do the same thing every 12th. Can you enhance it? Sure, why not? Is it better? Technically. It's not needed though, not like the other ones. So in the third to pair with this, Strategist, which I love because it's really cool with the weapon, especially when you get into big groups with this thing, because all those collaterals, when Jolt takes something out, it counts as Strategist energy, class ability energy. I have mine enhanced, so 10% ability energy, 11% enhanced, and Warlock, Titan, Hunter, it's appreciated. And it's something added on top of my main play loop, which is the Jolt. And a double reason why I like this so much, the Origin trait. The damage dealt is going into class ability if that's the only one uncharged. There's a lot to like about this particular role on this weapon. Jolt everywhere, collaterals, getting class ability energy. If the class ability is the only one uncharged, it's getting the full benefit of Bray Legacy. Really, really good. And also with Strategist, use your class ability, you get some stability for a short time. After that, we have Eddy Current. Really good after the update and the bug fix. You sprint for a second and a half, you get 20 reload, a 0.95 reload multiplier, 0.95 handling multiplier, and like 20 handling. When you're amplified, the sprint requirement is gone, and you get 60 reload. So 100 reload with the handling and reload multiplier, basically Outlaw. And actually, I believe it's actually 1 frame faster than Outlaw. So that's a very complete weapon. If you're amplified with this combination, max reload, Jolt every 12th bullet. Not bad at all. And then we get to some all right pairings and some cope pairings. They'll be fine, like Enhanced Attrition Orbs. The Jolt ticks count as orb generation, as hits for it. It's not as good as the Dungeon Launcher, for sure. I don't think anything ever will be. It's not great, but it's there. I mean, Killing Wind for range and mobility, Fragile Focus for range, to the pain, not so much. In the end, for this perk, high magazine, Strategist or Eddy Current with Jolting feedback. Look for it, it's incredible. But that's not the only thing to look for. I want to highlight Onslaught. We've seen Onslaught on these 600s, like Rosarago, Summoner has it. I have really good rolls of these, but I really like the idea of that 60 round magazine with Onslaught. It's good. It's very good. And honestly, anything pairs. Ideally, you would want Eddy Current, Strategist. Killing Wind isn't bad. Attrition Orbs isn't bad. Again, they're not ideal, but they'll work. With the magazine, target lock isn't terrible, but you need to get the magazine up. I would still take Onslaught or Jolting feedback over it. And then, for whatever reason, Swashbuckler. If you want a melee build, heavy melee focus Swash is there, but it really does go to Eddy Current and Onslaught. Like I said, over 1,000 kills on mine, I'm loving it. To close out the PvE section, since Enhanced, it can have one of the new mods. I love backup mag on it. 60 rounds, again, getting the 5 Jolt procs on them amplified, but especially if you aren't running Arc, you can put on Synergy. Final blows of this weapon have a chance to create an elemental pickup based on the weapon, so in this case, an Ionic Trace. And just a flat-out Ionic Trace is great. But you can also feed that into the artifact mods to help it out even more. Precision hits or final blows on targets affected by Jolt will generate Ionic Traces. The boost is that a trace can give you an armor charge. And Retinal Burn. Rapid precision hits consume that armor charge, and it blinds a target. The boost is it emits a blinding burst, but not tied to arc at all. Traces from the artifact perk, traces from Synergy final blows, just some other ways to get charged. It's good. Moving on to the Crucible, I wanted to get some very specific rolls to show you so bad for this review. I really like this weapon, so on a personal note, in my off time, I'm going to be grinding for it. Something I will have and I will use. And even though I don't have the PvP god rolls, we can talk about them. We know that they're good. And I haven't talked about it up until this point, but in the Crucible, it's way more important. The scope, it's awesome. 16 zoom. You can also go up or down with the new artifact mods. It's a clear open to sight note. It does have a slight issue while sprinting. It's not as bad as some other weapons that have this, but there's some restriction when you're sprinting around just because of how big the weapon model is, but it's fine for me. When you're on a target, it highlights them blue, which I like. Sees through smoke and other things, can't complain. And it has deterministic recoil. I mean, 65 is base, 75 with a recoil barrel, 80 with a mod, 90, 95, and 100. So I'm gonna have a screen showing all of these recoil directions, but before I show it, this auto rifle is easy to control. Not quite as easy as Summoner, but it's easy to control. The recoil pattern has some variation in it, and most are gonna be completely fine with this base recoil. And most of the time, I'm gonna recommend that. But that said, there's a very clear winner, and that's 80 recoil, which is a counterbalance mod. When you look at them, it's the only one that is completely vertical. The recoil itself has a trait to it to where it trails to the left. The biggest difference, though, is what it does while it's trailing. Look what it does while it's trailing to the left. Like, look at 65 recoil and 95. The 95 recoil isn't as sporadic, it's more in line as it's trailing. But with all that said, with the aim assist of this game and the magnetism, I don't find any issues with it. It still beams no matter what recoil that you're on. But if I had to rank them, it would be 80, 100, 95, 90, 65, 75. But as I started with, it's easy to control. But if you do add a counterbalance mod to it, it is perfectly vertical and it is by far the best. And that's going to be tough because some of the new mods. When you break this thing down, remember, best in class stability, high magazine, really good range for the class, 50 stability, 42 range. This starts out at 25.6 meters. Max range goes to 30.6. We have range perks, Fragile Focus, Killing Wind, which I will recommend in a moment, goes to 36.3. And then we have Ballistic, plus 6 range and stability, so 37.59. Full bore's fine too, because it has high base stability, it goes to 38.64. So you can get 13 meters of range out of this thing. And with something like Killing Wind, after that kill, you get the range. You also get 100 handling to help with the shoddy swap, ADS speed, 66 stability, 93 range is nuts on a 600 RPM. And overall, that ballistics mod, it adds 1.2 meters of range, just period, no matter where you place it. So that is beneficial, especially if you get a high range roll. Otherwise, go counterbalance mod. And in all the gameplay, I'm showing the Jolting feedback roll. It's my main roll. It's all I really have. I mean, I have a target lock roll, which is eh. And with this, it's just adding Jolt to more of a meme. I didn't find it leaps and bounds beneficial. It was good every now and again, but not great. Like I said, more of a meme. But ideally, you should be looking for Fragile Focus or Killing Wind with Kill Clip. These have a 0.8 TTK. They're easy to control. Kill Clip goes to a 0.6. That 0.6 is 37, 38 plus meters out with fall off. That's ideal. Be looking for max range Fragile Killing Wind with Kill Clip. Swashbuckler can work. Target lock makes you, again, able to add in a body shot in the base TTK. It's not what it once was. I would actually just stay away. It helps a little bit at a distance too. So if you did get target lock, you want high range to go with it. Another one to pay attention to is closing time. It's a new perk. As the mag gets lower, you get range, handling, accuracy, a large mag, so it's a little finicky. But to me, the pairing perk is going to be Killing Wind, because Killing Wind is one of the very few perks in the game that can push a weapon past its fall off, and this one does it by 5%. So if you get max range and within closing time get 100 total range, it's going to go a little bit past that because of Killing Wind. Tooth of Pain's a little interesting. I don't like being tied down to just having the weapon out. It works on some weapons. I don't think that it does for this AR. But overall, this is just a fun 6v6 weapon. Like, it could be a dominant 6v6 weapon if you get that high range, max range roll with Kill Clip. And that particular one, it could be used in threes, because those high stats are just going to perform. It's going to feel good. And then it has the lethality of Kill Clip. But overall, I am very impressed with it. And I've had kind of a weird week personally, and I'm just now able to get this review out. And in all my off time, I've been trying to get a nice PvP roll. Didn't happen. But this type of weapon is what we should expect from a dungeon weapon. This is why they should just be sought after. Juicy stats, juicy perks. And I'm still going to be going for that Kill Clip roll. It looks very fun to play with. And for a long time, just a high range Kill Clip summoner has been used. Like, this has the opportunity to be better than that, especially since you have way more stability with its range. So when you see it drop, it's not a throwaway weapon in terms of the dungeon. And if you're like me, you can't wait to get into your inventory and look at it and hope that it's a banger. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. That Jolting feedback one, I really, really like it. I love it. It's going to be one of my main weapons going forward. I mean, champion stuff, again, has a lot of utility in solo play, but just overall, like, it's ad clear stuff, what it's doing. And currently, it's artifact synergy. There's a lot to like. And as far as Jolting feedback, I really like that it's on a 600 auto. I mean, I'm going to cover the 390 Pulse at a later date that has it. I've used them both. I like this one a lot more. But today's video is about the Pyroelectric Propellant. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, what perks you're liking, and how it compares to some other 600 autos that you like. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.